Thank you very much. Being an actress is it's something that I've always wanted to do. I've always been somebody who believed that you can tell your own story and tell your own story positively. So for me, transitioning from being an actress to being an advocate is like moving from one platform to another, because with as an actress I have a platform, but my platform is actually limited to just the screen and when I do a movie, while as an advocate you have a platform that transcends beyond just one genre. I can speak anywhere. And again, I am not just an advocate. As the First Lady, that gives me a bigger platform and that gives me a bigger audience. So all the things that I wanted to say when I was an actress, I can now say them as a First Lady because my platform is now very, very big. Well, the banning of early marriage has been one thing that I live for, because as a victim of early marriage, I understand what it means to suffer such injustice. And I campaign against that for the last 7 years vehemently, that we have to ban early marriage. And now that we have, the important thing that I believe that the government had to do is make sure the policies are right and implemented. We can ban early marriage, but if you don't implement it, there is a problem. So we're working on all the strategies to make sure that implementation are carried on. We're building safe homes so that girls know that they can come to a place where they feel safe when they are being forced to be married. We're working in partnership with the police, the Family Support Unit, Rainbow Center, Aberdeen Women's Center. These are all organizations that deals with gender issues and then gender violence issues. So we're working with all of them to make sure that when a girl's voice is heard, we have to respect them and we have to protect them. And through that, you continue with the advocacy, you continue to enlighten as many girls as possible. As long as the society accepts the fact that this is something that has been banned, I believe it will work for the betterment of all girls in Sierra Leone and beyond. As a member of a diaspora, as a diasporan community, I live in the United Kingdom for 20 years before moving back to Sierra Leone after I got married to my husband. I understand the impact that we have on our family lives. All our remittances that we send over is basically, I say the diaspora are the fifth economy of every country in Africa. So coming here, meeting the Sierra Leonean community is always an opportunity to say thank you to them, not only for supporting my husband or for supporting our government, but more importantly for taking care of the family, because the money that they send back home is actually helping our economy, is helping the economy to grow, and we want to continue to say thank you to them. I know how difficult it is to live in the diaspora, the things that you had to do being part of a diasporan community. I understand that because I was once part of that community. So I always dove my heart out to them because I know the struggle. And for them to be sending the kind of money they send back home means that they truly love our country and they truly want our country to develop. With the Hands of Our Girls campaign, it's not a campaign that I look forward to people clapping for me all the time. Every time you touch a life, every time you're able to change a life, every time you're able to make a girl see that they matter, for me, that is achievement. And I'm grateful to God that He had given me the opportunity to serve my country, but more importantly, that He had allowed me to use my voice for a positive change that has now become a revolution in our country. The young girls today knows their right. The young girls today call themselves Fatima's children, not because they are all my biological children, but because I've given them something that they have wanted all this time. I've given them their voices back. I've given them the environment to live safely. I've given them the opportunity to understand that there is nothing greater than education. And I've given them the space for them to say no and means no when somebody tried to rape them. And when they say no, the person have to respect them. I've also given them the space, the safe space for all of them to feel safe. They don't have to worry about what they wear, where they go, what time they go there, and worry that somebody else is going to rape them. So that transition for me is what I would call success. All of the fanfare around it is appreciated, but touching lives and changing lives for me is more matter. I'm not a government. I just happen to be the wife of the president, who is very vocal in things that I believe in. Since independent, we've had mining companies in our countries, but we still don't have anything to show for those mining companies. They've exploited our lands. They've taken away so many resources from our country, and they give us peanuts in exchange. And I still believe that is wrong. I'm not speaking on behalf of government. I speak as a Sierra Leonean, as an individual who believes that things need to change when it comes to the way mining companies treat us. And the worst part of it is that the mining companies believe it's an entitlement, that as long as they have signed a list, whatever is in that list, that's what they need to focus on. They don't see that there's a thing called humanity. You can sign a list but also have a human face in that list that will help the people, promote the agenda of the people, encourage more people to see themselves as part of that community. But unfortunately, that is not what we get. They go there, they sign this and contract that favors only them. And when you want to speak, they come after you. They come after you because they have the international media. They come after you because they are a multi-billion entity. They come after you because they feel like they can just shut you up and you have no say in anything. Even when they know what they're doing is absolutely wrong, it's inhumane, and it is against any international practice. So I have a problem with that. And I've said it time and again. If they have to kill me because of my belief, then I believe that is the way God wants me to go. Africa is a male-dominated continent. Well, to be honest with you, the world today is a male-dominated world. I come from a tribe where I come from the Mandinka tribe. I come from a tribe where women says nothing. They listen. And the men make all the decisions. And for far too long, all the decisions they've been making has not built anything positive to change the narrative for our women and children. And I felt if God has brought me here, it's for a reason. You do not hold a position just for the sake of a position. When you hold a position, you should be able to use that position in changing lives and touching lives. And if I had to use my voice to change all the ills that are happening within Africa, I'm going to do that. I'm not worried about what people say about me. Criticism is part of the job. They are going to say whatever they want to say because they also have a story to tell. They have a story that makes them look good. And if they have to pick on you to make their own story look good, it is what it is. So I'm not bothered about what people say about me. I'm more focused on what the people feel when they see me and what I'm able to do in changing the narrative for my people and how many lives I'm able to change, how many positive impact I'm able to make for my people. For me, that's what matters. What people say, the criticism they do, doesn't bother me at all. I take it with a pinch of salt. Before, at the beginning, it was a very, very hard pill, especially when people make up stories about you that are not true. And they conveniently put those stories out and you have to come out and defend yourself. And I realized that if every time they write something about me, I have to come out and defend myself, I'm going to be spending more time defending myself than changing the narrative that I'm there for. So I don't defend myself anymore. Whatever you believe is your own side of the story. Believe it and please make good use of it. Wow, that's a very tricky question. I don't believe in. It's just that the world today, you have to write your own story, because if you don't write your own story, people will alter the truth, and that's the reason why we still have to use the media. We still have to put together the information so that people don't write the wrong thing. But in terms of how I should be remembered, you know what? The millions of girls that have transformed their lives, the millions of girls that today can boastfully say, I have finished my secondary school and I'm now in university, the millions of girls that today are doing STEM courses before. Women don't venture into those things. Engineering, we're talking about pilots, we're talking about innovators, we're talking about entrepreneurs. Those girls are my story. Those girls will tell my story, because one day they will say there was a woman who came, and it was because of that woman I am who I am today. So my story is written through those girls. Whatever is done internationally is part of the process, because people have to say something. But my story will be written through the lens of all these young girls that I'm transforming now. For the young people today, the world has become more challenging. The world today is more difficult than when our forefathers are here, even when our grandfathers or our own fathers were here. So for me, all I can say to the youths of not just our continent but the whole of the world is focus on a purposeful education. It is not all education that matters these days. Because of innovation, because of technology, focus on a purposeful education so that you are also able to contribute to nation building. There is nothing you can do without education. Even if you are the greatest billionaire today, if you are not educated, you are going to be employing educated people to manage your life. And if you want to be the captain of your own life, you should be able to navigate it very well. And the only way to do that is through purposeful education, transcend, one that is meaningful and one that is applicable. You do not just do education for education's sake. It's not just about reading and writing. And it doesn't mean that you have to be educated and speak English, because English is not the only language in the world. But you can change the world by knowing the technology we use don't speak language, but they transform the world today. So all I can say to the young people is be purposeful, be driven, have a dream, and don't allow anybody to kill that dream for you. Chase what you believe in, and make sure you do what your instincts tells you, because the biggest and greatest advisor in the whole world today is your instincts. The instincts don't lie. Believe in them and dream high. If anybody tells you to kill your dream, that person is your enemy. Okay, so if I was not the first lady, I was still going to be that woman that is very stubborn. That woman that believes that things has to change. From the age of 19, I've been doing this. It just happens that now that I'm the first lady, I have a bigger platform. Even before becoming an actress, I have been an activist. Everybody who know me, I started campaigning for issues that matters to me from the age of 19 when my immediate brother passed away, and they said he had meningitis. When he died, the first thing that came out of most of our family, they said it's witchcraft. And my brother died of meningitis. And that is when I know to educate our people. We have to let them know what the world is all about. The primitive thinking had to stop. And the only way to do that was to use my voice. And when I started campaigning for meningitis, I moved out from that and then introduced a program called Face of the Gambia, because at that time, girls in the Gambia could not go to school and finish education. At the age of 12, you're preparing yourself for marriage. It is not for university. So most girls like me, we know at the age of 12, we are going to be shipped off and be married to whoever our parent has allocated us, because it's like an allocation. It's not asking your permission. You don't have a voice to do anything or say anything. They tell you, this is your husband, he's coming on this day, you will have to obey and apply and just do what you're told to do. And I felt that was wrong. And I now started this thing called the Face of the Gambia. And with that, I was able to get girls. And through that program I was doing, I started sponsoring girls. I started with 52 girls, started sponsoring their education, making sure they go to school. Because one of the reasons why they were not able to go to school is money. It doesn't matter how much you want to be in school and how often you want to be in school. If you don't have the money to pay for it, you won't go there. So I introduced that. And then I went further and then started the Women of Excellence Award. And the Women of Excellence Award is just to bring out women from rural areas to have a voice within the cosmopolitan cities. Most of these women are the farmers, these are the market women, these are the women in remote areas that are doing all the work. And then we come to the city and the women in the city take all the glory. And I felt this is wrong. And I introduced the Women of Excellence Award, where I then asked the former president of the Gambia to be the chief patron, and the vice president, who was then a woman, to be our patron. So we were celebrating women that have never seen classroom before. So these are all ways and means of making sure women come out. Women are able to come to the table. Women are able to give back to society. So I started that at the age of 19. If I was not the first lady, I would still be doing that, because everything I have done is through my own story. It's through my own abuse. It's through my own problem that I have faced. And it took me a very long time to be able to even have the security that I have with myself today, that I can say to myself, what you did to me was wrong, and I will not accept it. So from the time I started saying that to myself and say no, and I understand the meaning of no and the value of no. And that no is what I decided now to move to all the young girls around the continent, so that the word no matters to them.